Hi guys, welcome to our next Mat Chat. Today's Mat Chat is 7 steps to setting and achieving our goals. So if you remember back at the beginning of this test cycle, we decided that part of what we were doing was going to be how to set goals, not just in the martial arts, but in everyday life. And we handed out sheets in which we described the 7 steps to setting and achieving your goals. And we're going to cover those in just a minute. But let's review what a goal is. We said that a goal is anything that you want to be, do, or have that we're willing to work for and sacrifice our time. Now, those first 3 are pretty self-explanatory. Anything we want to be, do, or have, that's a goal. But if we don't work for it, and if we don't sacrifice our time for it, then it's not really a goal. It's more of a wish. One of these days, I'm going to do this, or sometime in the future, I hope to do this or that. That's very vague and not very well defined. But if you're willing to do something every day, to work, to take steps towards that goal every day, and you give up that time, because time is our most precious commodity and it's something that we can never get back once it's spent. But if you are willing to do one definitive thing every day to take you closer to your goals, then you're far better off than the majority of people who sit around wishing that things would be different. So Bruce Lee said, "Every day I am committed to taking one definitive step toward my goals." I would like to modify that to say, every day I'm willing to commit to taking at least one definitive step. If you can do more, do more. But the key is consistency. No matter what you want to be, do, or have, you've got to drive yourself. And one of the things that I always stress in class is that goals should be big enough to motivate you, big enough to get you out of bed in the morning and inspire you, but small enough to achieve. I mean, if we put a goal in front of us that's the size of Mount Everest, and we look at that, sometimes we can become intimidated by our own goals. So what we want to do is break those goals down into easily attainable steps. And think of a goal as a destination, right? It's somewhere that you want to go. You're starting here, but you want to go there. What do you need in that case? A map. And that's what our 7 steps to achieving our goals is. So the first step is identify your goal. Here's the thing. What if I said to you today, what is your goal for the day? And you looked at me and went, I don't know. I don't know what my goal is. Well, that's the problem, right? That's the problem. If we don't know what our goals are, how are we ever going to know, A, when we get there, or B, how to get there? So the first step is identifying your goal in detail. And that's a process that could take some time. So it's what we want to spend a good amount of time on, is refining exactly what my goal is. And then the benefits. Step 2 are the benefits from achieving this goal. That's the what's in it for me section. Why do I want to achieve this goal? Well, maybe it satisfies some inner need. And that's really what all goals do anyway. Anything that we want to be, do, or have is to satisfy that inner need or inner drive. But get clear on what the benefits are from achieving your goal. So if my goal was black belt, for instance, what are some of the benefits? Increased confidence, self-reliance, obviously self-defense. There are many other things that we could attach, but understanding what the benefits are is the why. That's what gets us out of bed in the morning. Why am I doing this? So step number 3 is any obstacles to overcome in reaching this goal. And these are the goal sheets that we gave. So step number 3 is right there, obstacles to overcome. Now, let's be honest, we're not going to be able to predict every single challenge to come up. But if we get clear in our head what some of the challenges might be, then we become mentally prepared to surmount those challenges, to take them on. And again, we have to be adaptable, right? There's always going to be something that we don't expect. That's fine. But get clear in our head and think of as many things as we can at the beginning, at the outset when we're planning our goals. And it becomes easier when and if those things pop up. And we're able to deal with them much better. Step 4 is the skill or knowledge that's required to reach this goal. Just because you set a goal doesn't mean that it's automatically going to come to you with no effort. There are 2 things that I think are most important about setting goals. And number 1 is the willingness to work. Remember, a goal is anything we want to be, do, or have that we're willing to work for. That's the 4th part of that goal setting process is what we're willing to work for. So part of what is entailed by that is what skills or knowledge. Write them down. Maybe your goal is to become say a famous baseball player. What skill or knowledge? Well, obviously you've got to know the sport. You've got to know the rules. You've got to know what goes into, batting, catching, running, whatever. But it doesn't have to be any one thing. It could be anything we want to be, do, or have is going to require a certain set of skill or knowledge to get us to that point. And once we understand that, then we can prepare ourselves for the work ahead. And step 5 is who is going to assist us with this goal. Step 5, who's going to assist us with this goal? And this is important because everybody thinks that goals are set and achieved just because it's my goal doesn't mean I'm the only one working toward it. Let's look at black belt again. What do we need? Who's going to help us get our black belt? Well, obviously, I'm going to help you because that's my job as a teacher. But who else? How about your classmates, right? The people that you work with as partners every day. How about if you're a junior or a little dragon student? Your parents, your grandparents, whoever it is that makes sure you get to class on time. Those folks are going to help you just as much as I am, because without them getting you here, it becomes kind of pointless. How about books and videos? The videos that we've been putting up during this lockdown, those are going to help you. Anyone that you can think of in your circle that's going to help you, and when I mean help you, I don't mean just physically help you. I mean people that are going to encourage you positively. Because there's going to become times in your training, there's going to become times in your life when you get down, when you start looking at things and becoming overwhelmed and say to yourself, I don't know if I can do this. I'm not sure I got this. Or you're going to look at yourself and say, I can't do it. And sometimes you need somebody outside of yourself to say to you, to put a hand on your shoulder and say, look, I know it's difficult, but you can do this. I believe in you. And those people assist you as much as the ones that physically help you in your own mental attitude. All right. And so that's really important, of listing everyone in your life who is going to assist you in reaching your goal. Now, step 6. Step 6 is our plan of action. This ties in the last 2 parts of what we said. A goal is anything we want to be, do, or have that we're willing to work for. This is the work. Plan of action is the work. And sacrifice our time. Naturally, if you're working at something, you're giving up time that you could be doing something else. In other words, every day we take a step. We look at that plan of action and we decide, this is what I'm going to do today. And there are certain steps that we take. Now, we have to be flexible in that plan of action because maybe the work today isn't going to we run into one of those obstacles we talked about earlier. So maybe we adjust our approach, and that's a key factor as well. Just because we run into an obstacle doesn't mean that we stop working. It means that we adjust our approach. We don't eliminate the goal. If an obstacle, a mountain pops up in our way, we don't look at that mountain and go, I give up. I can't get to the other side. Well, there's plenty of ways to get to the other side. You either go around it, you go over it, you go through it, or you dig under it. But you get there. You change your approach. You don't change the goal. So your plan of action is every little thing that you need to do. Could be phone calls, could be physical workouts, could be books to read, anything. Okay? Anything like that. You write that down. And the more detailed you are in each of these steps, the better you're going to be, because it gives you a mental picture. It gives you clarity of vision. And that's really important for the next step. Clarity of vision allows us to I was going to say ballpark, but it allows us to really hone in on the final step, which is the completion date. Now, the completion date should be a target, but targets sometimes change. For instance, when I was first training in martial arts, I got to green belt and I had to take about 6 to 8 months off. So that threw my entire training schedule off. I knew that I wanted to keep training 2, 3, 4 times a week, 5 times a week even, and until I got my black belt. But I took 6 to 8 months off for personal reasons, and that threw the target date off. You have to be willing to roll with that, all right? It doesn't mean I didn't give up on the goal. I didn't stop training. I just adjusted the target date. And it's important to remember that a target date is just something to shoot for. It doesn't have to be concrete, all right? So the 7 steps to achieving our goals, one more time. Number 1, identify your goal. Number 2, what are the benefits from reaching this goal? Everything positive that you're going to get out of that goal. What are the obstacles to overcoming the goal? In reaching the goal, what are the obstacles in reaching the goal? Step 4, skill or knowledge required to reach this goal. And step 5, who's going to assist me? Who's my team? Who's my tribe? Okay, the people that are going to be there to support me along the way. And sometimes, I just want to touch on that one more time. Sometimes people that are assisting us, maybe we are alone in going after our goals. So what? Be your own cheerleader. Be your own motivator. Be the person that pushes you to this. Remember what I said. You have to be motivated. You have to have a goal that's big enough to get you out of bed in the morning, to drive you through the day, and small enough to achieve. And even if we're in it alone, even if we're doing this by ourselves, I'm my own cheerleader. I want to be my own cheerleader. I want to be the person that pushes me and say, you know what? I've got this. And then step 6 is our plan of action, all the work that's involved, map it out. And lastly, but not least, is step 7, our completion date. When do we want to achieve this goal by? All right. Now, is this a guarantee of achieving your goals? No, nothing is. It's not supposed to be. All right. But what it is designed to give you clarity on what you want and how you're going to get it. But it also provides wiggle room, adaptability. Please think about this, and if you have any questions, please give me a call or email me or text me through Facebook or the school phone. But never, ever give up and never, ever stop working for those goals. Thank you, guys. Be the lion.